Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae R. Roddy. I am coming on to talk about the $284 billion Paycheck Protection Program and specifically about this for the second draw loan options for those that have already qualified for, were approved for, and funded for PPP money in the first round. There is a second opportunity for you to apply for more money. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to be walking through step by step the form that you will use in order to be able to get a second draw. So before that, I want to lay some background information. I just want to invite you all in, make sure everybody can see me and hear me. I do share out this broadcast wherever you're tuning in from, because there's so many entrepreneurs and small business owners that need access to this information. As we know, so many minorities, women-owned businesses missed out on the first round. So we definitely want you all to be able to get access to money in this go round. Or maybe even if you applied the first round, you want more money, you didn't get as much as you wanted to, and you want to get more money, I want to make sure that you get access to this. Do give this a thumbs up, hit that love button wherever you are. Do subscribe if you have not subscribed already. I will be coming on more and more frequently with these updates because, as we know, as they roll out these programs, things change on a daily basis and new information comes out on the daily basis, and you need to be made aware of it. So what? So you can take quick action on behalf of your business. These programs are a financial lifeline for you. So I want to make sure you understand that if you do qualify, that you do apply. So let me lay that background information. And then again, I will go step by step through the form for you so you know what to submit. I will be doing a separate video for those if this is your first draw. So this program is open to you if this is your first time applying or if you already received money. This video is really to walk people through that already were funded and that are wanting to get more money in this second round. So this Paycheck Protection Program is administered by the SBA. They are partnered with approved lenders with this program that actually you would apply through, right? Through your bank or credit union or any of these fintech companies like Square, PayPal, Cabbage were really big funders in the last round, especially for minority and women-owned businesses. But this is the program, and it was extended twice before, but it was recently extended under the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. So this is part of that $900 billion funding program. Now, if you are watching this video, you will see in the description of this video or in the show notes link to important information. So you will see links to the form that we'll be discussing today, which is the form 2483 SD, which is the PPP second draw borrower form that you're going to need. You will also see a link to the SBA's final rule and a summary of this program for second draws, okay? Because that is what this is for. I would try to answer questions while I'm on this broadcast. If I don't get to them, again, I always follow up after the broadcast with any of your questions that you may have. Okay, they are taking a tiered approach to roll out this program. So what you need to know is today it opens up. It is open up for first draw applicants, right? Under the smaller banks. So it's open to smaller banks, lenders, financial institutions that again are approved through the SBA. These your credit unions, your smaller community banks with assets of $1 billion or less, your CDFIs, which are really known for helping minority businesses get access to funding. So those are the ones you want to seek out if you are already, if you know those lenders, if you already have a relationship with those lenders, those are open for first draws today. Those same community banks, smaller lenders are also for second draw will be available for on Wednesday, January the 13th. So again, the first few days are for the smaller community banks because these are targeted. What you will realize is that these programs that they're rolling out under the stimulus package are more targeted to get those that have been really impacted, but that missed out on the last funding program. So these are really targeted. And then after the 13th, after those smaller community banks have the first shot, then they will open it up shortly thereafter for everyone else to start applying, whether this is your first time applying or this is your second draw. Okay, so just know that they're taking a tiered approach to make sure that everybody gets access to the funding. Okay, so now again, I want to go through some of the updates for you so you have this information, and then again we'll walk through the actual application. PPP borrowers can set their PPP loans covered period to any length between 8 and 24 weeks that best meets your business needs. So I talked about this before. You will have to do a comparison of your gross receipts to be able to demonstrate a loss. Okay, we're going to go through that on the form. This is for those that are taking out over 150. Okay, so we know they made some changes for those that are taking out or approved for loans under $150,000. But regardless, you choose your pay period between 8 and 24 weeks to compare between 2019 and 2020. PPP loans will cover additional expenses. So the same expenses that they did before, but additional expenditures like property damage costs, supplier costs, worker protection costs, those PPP equipment that now a lot of us have had to pay money for, and a lot of money to make sure, our places of business are safe and secure and a healthy place for our clients and customers to come to has been a cost. So those have been added. The program's eligibility has been expanded to include other nonprofits outside of 501c3. So now 501c6, housing cooperatives, direct marketing organizations, and among other types of organizations. The PPP provides greater flexibility for seasonal employees as well. Certain existing PPP borrowers can request to modify your first draw, okay, loan amount, and certain existing PPP borrowers are now eligible to apply for the second draw. Okay, a draw is generally a borrower. You are eligible for a second draw if you meet these following criteria. You must previously have received the first loan, right, the first draw, and will or have already requested forgiveness of your first loan amount. So in order to get the second one and be approved for forgiveness, you must have already gotten forgiveness or plan to get forgiveness of your first loan. You have no more than 300 employees. These are W-2 employees because, again, this is a payroll program. They're going based on your payroll. If you have 0 employees, you still qualify. We'll go through all the businesses that qualify as well. And then you must be able to show a 25% reduction in your gross receipts, again, between comparable quarters between 2019 and 2020. Okay? So, again, I will be walking you through this form, and this is form 2483 SD, the PPP second borrower form. So I'm going to prep to share this screen with you all. And it is a simple application. Okay, so you should be able to see it on the screen here. And I'm going to go to the form. So we're going to start at the top. You see it says Paycheck Protection Second Draw Borrower Form. This at the side, has nothing to do with the expiration date of this program. The Paycheck Protection Program has been extended to March 2021. This is just their internal form and control number. Sometimes people get confused on this number, but this program is extended to March 2021. You're going to first start with this box here and check which is applicable. What type of business do you have? And if this is your second round, you're going to put the similar information that you did in the first round when you apply. So if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to put that. If you have a partnership, you're going to put that. If you're an LLC, a C Corp, they've added, you can see here, in addition to the 501c3 nonprofit, they've also added the 501c6 organizations, 501c19 veterans organizations, housing cooperative, tribal businesses, or you can mark other. But again, it needs to fit the criteria that I have just previously outlined. So you want to check that box. If you have a DBA or trade name, right? You have a business and you're operating under a trade name or what they may call a brand name. DBA is doing business as, because you can have a company like an LLC and have multiple brands underneath there. If you do, put that in here. If you do not, just I would put NA. Okay, I don't like to leave fields blank. I would say put NA here. Then you move on to the years of establishment. Again, this program, in order to qualify, just like before, you must have been in operation as of or before February the 15th, 2020. So you're going to put the date that you were established here in this field. So whatever that date is, put that there. Then you're going to go to this field and put your legal business name. You can see here, I made up a name and put James Market. Whatever your business legal name is, you're going to put it here. There are also industry classification codes. They're called NAICS codes. You can Google it. You can look it up and find which code is applicable to your business. This is going to be important because certain codes, if your code begins with 72, the amount that you can get is higher, and I'll be covering that in the fields below. So they're going to be looking to see what your NAICS codes are, so you definitely want to pull that up. I will also, after the program, drop it in the comments just so you have a point of reference, and then you can go there and pull that up as well. Then you're going to put your business address. So whatever your business address, where you're operating, you want to put that address here, include the address, your city, your state. Then you're going to put your business information here, your number. This is your tax ID. So if you're a sole proprietor, right? So you qualify. If you are sole proprietor, gig worker, self-employed, independent contractor. So if you do not have an EIN, this is one of the programs that you can apply for with your Social Security number. Although I don't recommend it, I recommend you get an EIN number, but you can still apply. Use your Social Security number or your business tax ID, which is called your EIN, which is your employer identification number. Then you're going to put your business phone number here. Okay. Who is your primary contact for your business? If it is you or if it is someone else that you designate, you definitely want to put their name and email address clearly here in these fields. Then we're going to go down here where they're asking for more information about your monthly payroll. Again, this is a payroll protection program. This is to help keep people employed. So this is an example of what you will put in. So you just heard me say that they're going to go based on your NAICS codes, right? If you are a regular business, you qualify up to 2.5 times, 2.5 times your monthly payroll. Okay. So if your monthly payroll is $10,000, your 2.5 would be $25,000 is the max. Now, for each employee, the max that you can get for each employee is capped at $100,000. So if you have an employee that you pay $150,000, you would not be able to get approved for $150,000. It would be capped at $100,000. Okay. So monthly payroll times 2.5. If it's 3.5, if you are under the classification of 7.2, which are those restaurants, retail businesses, again, some of the industries that have been hardest hit, you will qualify for 3.5 times of your monthly payroll. Then you will go over here. and just indicate the number of employees, right, including affiliates, if applicable. Again, it cannot exceed 300. So if you have over 300, right? So in the first round, you can have up to 500. This time they're targeting more, again, smaller businesses that have been more impacted. Then you would just put the number of W-2 employees, not 1099 workers. Okay. If you have 1099 workers, if you're 1099 yourself, each 1099 person needs to be applying on their own behalf. I highly recommend that, especially for a lot of you all that like our salon owners, barbershop owners, and you have 1099 workers. They are their own business owners, and they should be applying for this program just like you're applying for this program. Okay, so then you're going to go down here and it says purpose of the loan, select all that apply. What are you planning on using this, the PPP loan money for? Again, in order to qualify for full forgiveness, which is 100% forgiveness, okay, that means that you have an opportunity to have it 100% forgiven, which means it turns into a grant, which is free money for your business, meaning you won't have to owe it back. You have to spend at least 60% on payroll related costs, and the other 40% can be on any of those other operational costs that are included. Okay, so you can designate your payroll if you're going to use it on rent, utilities, the covered operation expenditures. You designate what you're going to spend it on and then indicate it here. Okay, now below, since this is second draw, you're going to indicate your first draw SBA loan number in this field. Okay, let me scroll down. In this field here, whatever that loan number is, you're going to put it in that field. Then here in this section, you will see that it says reduction in gross receipts. I just talked about the fact that you have to be able to show that you had at least 25% reduction. But here's a point. Applicants for loans of under 150 or less may leave this area blank, but must be able to provide it upon or before seeking loan forgiveness. So if I were you, I would just go ahead and put it in here, okay? But you do not have to if it's $150,000 or less, but you need to know that for yourself, because again, before you request forgiveness, you will need to be able to provide this or be able to provide this information upon the SBA request. So you need to know what these numbers are and what periods, right, that you're going to be using to apply, and pull those documents and have those ready to go. Okay, so and the way to do this, again, we have tax returns, and then you have your profit and loss statements. You can pull your profit and loss statement for any given period of time for comparison. If you do not know how to do this, it's easy to pull these records in reports. Your profit and loss is considered a report from your financial systems, your accounting systems, whichever one you use, QuickBooks, FreshBooks. There's many out there. You can consult with your accountant. I know a lot of you all have your accountants that are doing this on your behalf, so they have access to your financial reports to be able to help you. And so you can see I did comparison quarters here. We can see in 2019, $20,000 in the quarter was much higher. It was well above this 25% reduction in gross receipts here. Okay, so this is just an example that I outlined here, 5,000 compared to the 20,000 in the comparable quarters in 2019. Okay, and then if you scroll below, there's a section for application ownership. Okay, list all owners of 20% or more equity of the applicant, right? So if I know most companies probably that are watching is you are sole owner, but that is not always the case. So you must state who the owners are. There's two fields here. Any owner that has more than 20% ownership, I list them here, and their name, their title, percentage ownership, their, again, tax ID number and address needs to be listed in this box. Okay. Now we're going to scroll down. And it says, if questions 1, 2, 4, or 5 are answered yes, the loan will not be approved. Okay? So, number 1, is the applicant or any owner of the applicant presently suspended, disbarred, or proposed for disbarment, declared ineligible, voluntarily excluded from participation in this transaction by any federal department or agency, or presently involved in any bankruptcy? Okay. If you say yes, you will not qualify. Okay. So my answer is no for this. Has the applicant or any owner, right, of the applicant or any business owner controlled by them ever obtained a direct guarantee loan from the SBA or any other federal agency that is currently delinquent or has defaulted in the last 7 years? So again, this is everyone that you listed above. So even if you, say no, and one of your, the owners, someone has owner interest and they say yes, then that would disqualify you. So it's important to read through these. Again, these you're certifying that that you're eligible for these programs based on the questions that they're asking below. Okay. Number 3, is the applicant or any owner of the applicant and owner of any other businesses, right? Or have common management, including management agreement with any other business? If yes, list all of such businesses, including their TIN numbers, and describe the relationship below. Okay, so that would be a no for me. Number 4, is the applicant, if an individual or any individual owning 20% or more equity of the applicant, presently incarcerated, or for any felony presently subject to an indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or other means by which formal criminal charges are brought in any jurisdiction. You need to initial here to confirm, and then you need to mark yes or no. Okay. Within number 5, within the last 5 years, for any felony involving fraud, bribery, embezzlement, or a false statement in a loan application. Okay. So we know with these programs, this has happened. People have been arrested and charged and convicted for crimes related to the PPP program, the EIDL program, and other SBA loan programs. Okay. So within the last 5 years, have you been involved in fraud, bribery, embezzlement, false statements on loan applications, or an applicant for federal financial assistance within the last year? For any other felony, has the applicant, if an individual or any other applicant, been convicted, pleaded guilty to, pleaded nolo contender, or commenced any form of parole or probation? Okay, then again, they're going to ask you here to confirm. And then number 6, is the United States the principal place of your residence for all employees, including the applicant? Okay, I'm going to change that here. Yes. If it's no for you, then you would mark no. Is the applicant a franchise? No. Okay. Is the franchise listed in the SBA's franchise directory? If yes, enter SBA franchise code here. Okay, that is a no for me. So if you're a franchise, you want to, again, follow those steps. Okay, it brings us to this next page here. Okay, by signing below, you are making the following representations and authorizations in this form. So this is really critical because, again, you are self-certifying in this process. So you're going to read through that you're certifying, right, that you read all of the information, that you understand that the applicant is eligible under the rules, that the applicant together and its affiliates meet the requirements, right, that you are in the business classification, you have no more than 300 employees, and if you are required to have 25%. That is the case if it's a new organization or majority owned by any of these codes here, that you employ no more than 300 employees. Then I will comply with all applicable and with civil rights of limitations of this form. All loan proceeds will be used for business related expenses. This may seem like a no-brainer, but we've seen that people have been using funds inappropriately, for which you can get in trouble for, including up to imprisonment for using funds for reasons it is not intended. These are not for personal use. It's not for vacation, to go buy you new jewelry, to put a down payment on a house. It is not for any of those reasons, to pay your personal mortgage. This is for business related purposes. I understand that the SBA encourages the purchase and extend feasible and American made equipment and products. Okay. The applicant is not engaged in any activity that is legal or illegal under your federal, state, or local laws. Okay. Now, for applicants who are individuals, I authorize the SBA to request criminal record information about me from criminal justice agencies for the purpose of determining my eligibility for programs authorized under this act. Okay, again, they are doing more vetting, okay, in this process versus the last time, so that they do not make the same mistakes. So they are verifying. So I authorize a representative of the applicant that must certify in good faith below by initialing. So you will be required to initial that you were in business and operation as of February 15th. Okay. Current economic uncertainty makes this loan necessary. So if you are already making bukus of money and this is not necessary for you, then again, you no need to apply. This is for those where it is you experienced an economic loss, and this is going to really help you in your business. The applicant has realized a reduction in 25% of their gross receipts over comparison between 2019 and 20. Okay, the applicant received the first draw Paycheck Protection Program loan before the second draw, right? So you must have received your first loan, okay, before the second loan is dispersed, and will have used the loan amount, including any increase of the first draw. So if you want an increase of your first draw, do that first, then apply for a second draw. Okay, that may be to your best benefit. Okay, you have the opportunity to do that. And before I move on, let me just state that someone asked me if you have to go back to your same lender. My understanding is that you don't, because someone said they don't want to go back to the lender that they had before. That's why you're able to reference your first draw loan application number, and you can submit this to any lender. And they will either have this form or a comparable form, and usually it's on an online system. So they've embedded this into their online system for you. Okay. So the funds will be used to retain workers, maintain payroll, and pay for other approved costs that they've stated in here. I understand loan forgiveness will be provided for the sum of documented payroll, for covered utilities and other expenses, payroll, and that it says that for covered workers and protection expenditures, and not more than 40% of the forgiven amount may be non-payroll related costs. So we talked about that before. 60% payroll and 40% non-payroll related costs. They changed the percentage under during the last extension of the program. The applicant has not and will not receive another second draw Paycheck Protection Loan Program. This is important because I said if you submit a request to one place, you can submit multiple places to get approved for it. You cannot take money from two different lenders. You can only receive funding from one lender for one business. Now, you can submit an application for multiple different businesses, right? But you can only get one second draw loan per business. Okay, want to make sure that that's clear. The applicant has not and will not receive a shuttered venue operator grant from the SBA. So if you receive that grant, again, you don't qualify for this particular program. Okay. The president, the vice president, and head of the executive department, member of Congress, or spouse determined under applicable common law does not directly or indirectly hold controlling interests in the applicant, with such terms having meaning under Section 22 of the Economic Aid Hard Hit Small Business Nonprofits Venues Act. The applicant is not an issuer. The securities for which are listed in the exchange registered with the National Security Exchange. The applicant is not a business concern or entity or which any entity created in or organization under the laws of the People's Republic of China. Okay, that still stands. You can read that all the way through in the application at your own leisure. The applicant is not required to submit a registration statement under Section 2 of the Foreign Agents Registration. Okay, so you need to, for most people, this is not applicable. But again, every business is different. There's so many different types of businesses that are watching this program. So again, see what's applicable to you and then check that is accurate. The applicant is not a business concern or entity primarily engaged with political lobbying activities. That is not, you're not eligible for this program. I further certify that the information provided in this application and the information provided in all supporting documents and forms is true and accurate in all material aspects. And I understand that knowingly making false statements to obtain a guaranteed loan from the SBA is punishable under law under 18 USC 1001 and 3571 by imprisonment of not more than 5 years or a fine up to $250,000, right? By imprisonment if not more than 2 years and or a fine of not more than $5,000. And if submitted to the federally insured institution, by imprisonment of not more than 30 years and or fine of no more than $1 million. So you can see that providing false statements comes with hefty penalties. And they have already done this. So I recommend that you provide truthful information. There's no reason not to be truthful and honest in the application process. And then I acknowledge that the lender will confirm the eligibility of the loan amount using the required documents that have been submitted. And I understand and acknowledge and agree that the lender can share any tax information that I have provided with the SBA authorized representatives, including authorized representatives of the SBA Office of Inspector General for the purpose of compliance with SBA loan program requirements and all other reviews. Then you are going to sign and date, print, and put your title here in this box. And then the rest of the form is just, again, more program information form regarding the second draw, which is really going to be helpful for you to be able to see. But again, this is the Paycheck Protection Program form, second borrower drawer form, 2483 SD. Okay. So now I'm going to stop sharing that form and just see if there are any questions out there that I can answer. So payroll is for employees that get a paycheck, and 1099 is for employees that have cash payments. No. Okay. 1099 workers are not your employees. They are contractors. They are business owners, entrepreneurs, just like yourselves. You contract with them. They are not considered employees for the purpose of this program. Employees, meaning that you have them on payroll, that you take taxes out of their check. You do not take taxes when you pay 1099 workers, right? Like if you have a VA, which is a virtual assistant, you hire them or you hire a virtual assistance agency. I do that. They are contractors. They are not my employees. Employees are W-2 workers in which you have a payroll and you pay taxes on that. Okay. Someone else says if you didn't file taxes in 2020 and this will be your first PPP, but it asks you to put your tax information. I can't say this enough, ladies and gentlemen, to file your taxes. You not filing your taxes appropriately is going to prevent you from getting access to a lot of funding that is available, not just this program. If you are a solopreneur, gig worker, independent contractor, self-employed, for this program, they are looking at your tax form. Okay. They're looking at your 2019 right now. And let me give you an example. If you were one of the ones that started in February, by the February date, you didn't have a 2019 record because you didn't start in 2019, they will still expect you, whether you filed it or not, to fill out the Schedule C form. You can find the Schedule C form on the IRS website at irs.gov. Okay, because as a solopreneur, that's how you're able to show your owner compensation. You are considered an employee of one. So you want to be putting that you have one employee. For all you solopreneurs out there, one man show, one woman show businesses, you put one employee. This is your owner's compensation. They will be looking at your Schedule C. They also do is so much better to have a relationship with the bank. In some instances, you can provide additional information like your bank statements, profit and loss statements, to be able to show income that you received in different quarters. That has helped individuals as well. But the first thing that they're going to ask for those that do not have W-2 employees is your tax return. They're going to look at your Schedule C, and you will go to line 31. Look at that number. That needs to be a positive number. If you had a loss in that box or for that year, you will not qualify for this program. Very few people have been able to overcome that by, again, being able to show bank receipts, right? And other financial records to support their income, but not everyone is able to do that. They really have been really strict to go by the Schedule C, line 31. You look at that number, and then you would take that number and then divide it by 12. That would tell you how much your monthly payroll is, and then you times that by 2.5. And then that would tell you what your potential loan amount is that you would qualify for. Okay, why are we not able to apply today for the two window for minorities as minority? Okay, so you can apply today, but it's the community banks that are getting it, right? So that means you have to be going through a small community bank, applying through a small community bank, a CDFI, a credit union that is approved lender that fits in that category. If you fit in that category, you can go ahead and apply. Again, it goes back to having a relationship with one of those banks or reaching out and start making phone calls and seeing if they're accepting applications right now, and you can apply. They're only open up for these banks to these smaller institutions to fund. First draw today, second draw on the 13th. Then after that, they will open up for the remainder. Again, they're using a tiered approach for a reason, to make sure that those that are most in need, hardest hit, did not get money in the last round, get it this round. Okay, if I'm an owner, self-employed, should I put 100% in application ownership? Yes. You're 100%. If you're the only owner, yes, you would. Okay. So I'm the only employee with an LLC. I pay myself cash. How does that work? I don't know what you mean by paying yourself cash. And whatever you're paying yourself, it needs to be on record. So whether it's an owner's draw or you have yourself on payroll. But again, if it's just you, how you would be able to show is your Schedule C. Now, if you're paying yourself on payroll, then you can, that's again, more documentation you can provide to be able to show, even if you had a loss, that you have income. But again, you have to work with your bank and try to overcome those, any denial. First, start with your tax return, your Schedule C. But again, they have your information already. So this is second draw for you. If you were already approved, right, you were funded under the first one, it's going to make it really much easier for you this go round. Okay, because they're going to be basing this on your previous application and the documents that you submitted before. If you're going after 150,000 or less, the process is really easy. Okay, I found taxes self-employed May 13. Do I qualify? It's not that easy. If you're just coming in, I would recommend you go back to the beginning, listen to this video all the way through for anything that you have missed. It's not as easy as saying I'm self-employed, can I qualify? As a self-employed person, you can potentially qualify if you meet all the other criteria that we outlined in this video. Okay, so it's not just one thing that you qualify. Yes, as a self-employed, then did you, depending on how much you are expecting to request for funding, is it under 150,000, right? Because there's solopreneurs make $1 million or over $1 million. So it just, look and see if you meet all of the criteria. If you didn't get approved the last time, how do you complete the application for the first time? So there's a separate application for first round applicants. That is another video. Okay. As far as when I mean another video, as far as a step-by-step, I do have a video already that is on YouTube for PPP. It is PPP step-by-step application process for PayPal. It will most likely be similar, so you could check out that video before I do the next video, which will be in the next few days. But again, it's a simplified application. I will make sure I drop that form here as well in the comments for you, but I'll be doing a specific video for those first-time applicants. But this one is for second draw, so if you're just coming on, welcome. Let me know who you are. Where you're hailing from. If you got a PPP loan before, let me know that also in the comments. Again, you have an opportunity to go get an increase on the first one. Do that first if you need it, and then apply for the second draw. You have that opportunity. Let me see what other questions. How can I find a community lender in your area? Go to the lender approved lender list, and you can actually Google community lender. I know these are smaller banks in your area. Credit union. Do you know any credit unions, Black-owned credit unions in your area? Contact them. But again, ask them, do they know about this program? Are they accepting applications? Are they approved through the SBA? The SBA list is in, again, the description and the show notes. First, see if they are listed as an approved lender. And you can, in the lender list, you put in your zip code, it would tell you all the lenders that are there. Just start there and go through the list. And these are smaller lenders. So it's not like your Chase banks, your Bank of America. They're smaller banks that they're giving money to support your business. Can we submit this form ourselves, or is it to be submitted by the bank? It has to go through the lender. Whatever the lender, if they would have this form or one comparable to it. Yeah, so you must go through a lender for this program. I mean, you're submitting everything through an approved lender. No, it would be a different form for first-time applicants. Somebody's asked me what app am I talking about. I'm not sure about your question, but this is a paycheck protection program, which is one of the most popular programs that came out of the CARES Act that is administered by the SBA. Do you have to file your 2020 tax return to submit the form? No. No, ma'am, because the time has not expired for 2020 taxes. People are just now preparing for their 2020 taxes. Okay. What about self-employed? I work for someone who lives in a different state. Self-employed, gig workers, independent contractors. So many of you all missed out on the last round because you all did. First of all, they didn't open it up till late, right? That was after the first round. They opened it up to self-employed, gig workers, solopreneurs, very late in the first round. And so we missed out on it. Then they opened it up for a second round. But even after that, a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners just didn't think that they qualified for these programs. They don't even know that these programs exist unless they come across my channel. Sometimes for some of you, this is the first time you're hearing about these programs. This is only one of them. Check out all of my videos, my recent videos that outline all of the programs that are being renewed, or even new ones that are coming on board to be able to provide you with a financial lifeline, free money for your business. So you can, pivot your business, scale your business. The whole point is to help businesses recover, to get back to where they were prior to COVID-19. Okay, someone is saying they're a little confused about this process. Am I supposed to complete the loan online and then send the document to the lender? The lender, no. You contact your lender, right? Whether it's the lender who did your first loan or you contact a new lender, and then you go through this process. They should already have the form. You can ask them about their process. What was their process like? Did you have to take the SBA form before? Fill it out and send it to them. Most financial institutions are more up to date on technology. Maybe some of the smaller ones may not be. That's why I'm giving you this form. So if you do need to provide this form to your lender, you have it, or they will have one comparable. So either way, you know step by step what you need to fill out to be able to submit it correctly. Okay. But your lender will tell you what the process is. And I'm going to tell you right now, the program has opened, but some of the lenders are still reviewing the regulations, the guidance before they open up their portals. Okay. I know I looked up PayPal yesterday. They have a notice on their portal that they recognize that the law passed. They're reviewing the guidance. And then they will be, once they review that, then they will open up the portal. So I monitor that on a regular basis. So you all I would recommend you all monitor it too. But there are a lot of lenders that are out here. Again, make sure they're approved, because there's a lot of people out here, businesses that are, recognize small businesses are vulnerable. They realize there's a lot of money to be had here. So they may try to take advantage. Make sure you're going through an approved lender. There's no reason not to. You have the list that I just provided for you to show every approved. If they're not on the lender list, do not go with them. Even if they say they're approved lender, they will be on the list. Okay. I'm good. Thank you. How do I prove my payroll? I'm a cosmetologist. I think I reviewed that already. If you have employees, you go to your payroll records, right? Which means you have a payroll statement system, right? Or your accountant that is managing your payroll for you, or a company that's managing your payroll. All those records should be automatic. Business owners, you should already be having this information in your systems. So it's easy for you to get this information, so you're not scrambling. Again, these programs are funded, meaning when the funding runs out, the program is done. And this program is, and then once the date expires, it's done. So you definitely don't want to wait till March to start applying. So you start getting your business information ready to apply. Okay. Some more things that I wanted to reference right now. Again, so since this is for second draw, this means you already got a loan for which you were funded, whether you have gotten forgiveness or not. It's important to know, well, if you gotten forgiveness or not. Okay, if you receive forgiveness for your first draw PPP loan, and you did not receive your 100% forgiveness because you also received the EIDL advance or grant is what it is, you are entitled to the full amount. So if that is you, and say for instance, because you got the EIDL advance, you got 10,000. Your PPP loan was 50,000, but because you got the $10,000 EIDL advance grant, they only forgave $40,000 of your loan. Well, guess what? Congratulations, you will be entitled to the full forgiveness amount. Now, the SBA, let me make sure I'm correct. And they say that clearly in their guidance here for the repeal of EIDL advance reduction requirement. If they reduced your forgiveness amount, they will automatically give it back to you. Okay? They will automatically give it back to you. And if you're a new requester, you won't be penalized, right? They won't. You will get your full forgiveness. It won't even be a consideration. Your EIDL advance will not even be a consideration. And you can apply for PPP and EIDL. Some people had said before that they couldn't apply for both. You can. Okay. So I just wanted to state that. I think that's it. Okay, I got denied EIDL, but was denied PPP for my credit union from your credit, because PPP is not based on credit for all of those that are asking about credit. But you were denied PPP for your credit union. Okay. Find out why you were denied. It's so important that you know why you were denied so you know how to overcome it. Okay. Whether you go back to your current lender or go to another lender. I said that before. So that's happened to people. Maybe they applied to Square, they got denied. They approved for PayPal, they applied to PayPal and got approved. That's why you want to apply to multiple lenders. Even if one is slow, right? Just put your hat, apply to different ones, but you can only be funded one time. But both for EIDL and PPP, find out why you were denied so you can overcome that denial, whether you apply to another lender for PPP or for EIDL if you file a request for reconsideration. Okay. Someone says, I got funded for a 2K EIDL grant, only 28 for PPP. I have one employee in addition to myself. How do I go back and get the full amount of the grant? It should be automatic, is my understanding. And my understanding too, I think that this is not an EIDL broadcast, but I always want to mention that EIDL, they're going to be opening up EIDL, the new program shortly. Most likely it will be next week. And we're waiting on guidance. Just the way guidance came out about the PPP program, the same will happen with EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance and Loan Program, because they're opening up new EIDL grants, right? Targeted EIDL grants or advances and emergency EIDL grants and advances. They have extended the loan program, the program from 2020 to December 31st, 2021 for the EIDL program. I have videos on that. I have playlists for the PPP. I have a playlist on YouTube for the EIDL program because I will most likely be coming with updates probably every single day because that's how many programs are rolling out. And there's more than just this one. There's childcare grants for childcare providers coming out, grants for live venues, cultural arts, museums coming out. There's the employee retention, the tax credit of $14,000 per employee that you claim on your tax returns. There's a $5,000 credit for self-employed that you file on your tax return. So again, this goes back to all of you all that are not filing your taxes. You're missing out not only on tax deductions, major ones, but you're missing out on the opportunity to qualify for these programs, right? Those are two tax deductions. The way you get them is on your tax return. Stimulus checks that have gone out, if you didn't receive them, right? Whether the first one or the second one, you'll be able to qualify for them on your tax returns. So you need to make sure you have a knowledgeable tax consultant ready and available that knows what they're doing. Not these fly-by-night people that some of you all are promising you the world and they're going to get you in trouble. They don't put their names. They don't educate you along the way. And so if something happens, they're coming back to you as the business owner. So be careful who you give your information to, and get referrals. I mean, if you need a referral, I'm happy to send you one. Okay. I was self-employed and got the PPP loan. I got forgiveness in 3 days. I'm waiting on round 2. There you go. If I got the $1,000, will I get the $9,000 grant? Okay, that is not a simple question. Go to the video that says 10K, EIDL 10K grant approved. That has all the details on what you need to qualify for the full $10,000. Now, this is people first in line will be those that applied and only got partial grant, like what you're asking, okay? And those like myself that didn't get the grant at all because the SBA ran out of funding. We will be the first ones in line. Targeted grants, EIDL grants are for those that are in low-income communities, right? That meet the qualifications. Again, meaning for this program, you had to have been operating your business as of January 31st, 2020. And you must be able to show a 30% decrease in gross receipts in comparable periods between 2019 and 2020 for that program. The emergency EIDL grants that they may open up, we need more guidance. They may keep those at not $100, but $1,000 per employee. We won't know until they provide the guidance. But those of us like myself, I'm fully expecting the full $10,000 that I've said months ago that we would eventually get. We were supposed to get it in the first place. The SBA just decided to divvy out those grants of $1,000 per employee. And again, employee means W-2 employees. Also, when you're applying, don't put 0. You are your own employee. Okay, I'm a new business. I don't file my taxes until July 2021 because I just started my business. No, if you started your business, you need to file your 2020 taxes. Unless you just started in 2021. But if you started anytime in 2020, you need to put it on your taxes, right? Even if you made only $100, put it on your taxes. I applied for EIDL and I was asked to send my tax forms. I did so. Nothing happened. Okay. You need to follow up with the SBA. Follow up with the SBA. The number is always in my videos on YouTube in the show notes especially for those going through the reconsideration process, because that's millions of you all that need help with that process. Because you can overcome the denials and get approved and funded. I've helped many people be able to do that just with my videos. So, you can't just give up because you got one denial and just say, okay, that's it. No, you keep going. Figure out why you were denied and keep going. And I know it's been a challenge, right? Because I've gone through the process for over 9 months at this point. But contact the SBA and find out what the status of what's going on with your application or your reconsideration. Okay, startup businesses, again, for these programs, startup businesses are new businesses. It depends on the date that you started and you were operational. For this PPP program, You must have been operating, established as of or before February 15th. Meaning, if you didn't start your business till March, you don't qualify for this particular program. It doesn't mean that you don't qualify for any program. You just don't qualify for this program. Okay, SBA should be releasing information today on idle grant. They were supposed to release it around the same time as the Paycheck Protection. We're just waiting. So when they do, they actually send out a press release. That's what we monitor for. Okay. Can I give my tax preparer all my receipts from purchases? I mean, I guess you can. Consult with your tax consultant to see how you're supposed to do that. All of that stuff should be really, and I know a lot of businesses don't, but get to the place where you streamline your processes and everything is automated, like an online and cloud storage, not paper receipts and things like that can be lost. They deteriorate quickly. But you want to make sure your tax consultants have as much information and that you give them information in an organized manner. I don't allow people to send me any information if it's not organized and verifiable, right? Okay. All right. So this is the second round. This is the second draw. For those of you that have already gotten it, that does not mean if you're on here and you didn't get funding for PPP before, you can still apply. Again, if you're late tuning into this, go back to the beginning and watch it all the way through. There will be more videos coming on this program and other stimulus that is coming forward. Also, I always want to remind you, because there's still programs. States have grant programs. I encourage you all to apply. And California has the big one. The closing dates are fast approaching for some of these. They've extended some of the dates. That's good for you. If you're in Indiana small business, please drop your name in the comments. Go to our grant tracker. It is online on our website at www.shebosstaught.com. The direct link is also in the description and the show notes. In our resource section, our Get Your Money resources, because we're getting our money in 2021. So go to our tracker. It has all kind of grants. I updated it over the weekend. California, they have a $500 million, is about to be a $1 billion program, relief program, specifically for small business, the biggest one I've ever heard or seen out of all the states. So you can still apply for California. Indiana has a Restart Grant program also available. If you're in Indiana, small business, or someone who is, share out this video, share our grant tracker with them. Michigan has several grants. They have one opening up on January the 14th. If you're in Michigan or know someone is, again, tag them in this video, tag yourself in this video. So you make sure that you get access to the funding. I've been able to get several grants. Many of my viewers have been able to get grants. I mean, a ton of money is being flooded into small business. With the new administration coming on board, the Democrats controlling the House, there's definitely going to be a bigger stimulus package, even more money. So we're trying to roll these out, get you all this money, and then there will be more money. So you definitely want to make sure you have your business in order, that you know how to apply to these different programs. So do use our, or get, if you don't already have it. We've had tons of testimonials. It's been a great success. Our winning applications, cheat sheet and checklist has all my insider tips on how I've been able to get nearly $100,000 in grants, free money, and helped over 1,000 get millions of dollars in free money for their business. We also, for those of you that are ready in 2021 to get free money for your business, I'm talking about 10, 20, 50, $100,000 or more in free money for your business. It can make a huge impact on your business. It can explode your business. Free money. Think about what you can do with that money. What can you do with $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in your business? How can you impact your community, your industry with that type of money? So that if that is you, we had a wonderful class this past Saturday. I have one more last live class, which is this Saturday, is the Get Win Grants with Ease Masterclass, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're ready to get free money for your business, I highly encourage you to register before it fills up, right? Before it sells out or it closes within 24 hours of the class session. So just come ready to participate, to get engaged, because it's highly interactive. You get all your questions answered, even on these programs. So whereas if you were one-on-one with me, it would cost a lot of money, I answer questions related to all the federal relief, other types of grants. If there's a grant you're applying for, I ask you to bring it with you. We walk through those scenarios so you can get it ready to be submitted. So again, all of these things are highly competitive. There's many other small businesses applying for these same programs. So it's upon you to get ready and take quick action, right? Don't delay, don't procrastinate, don't hesitate. The time is now. Never has there been a time to get this kind of money for small business, especially for-profit businesses. So, make the decision, right? We made it easy for you, giving you all the resources and tools you need to make it happen. And just be proactive, being intentional about getting your money in 2021. Thank you so much. Again, share this, subscribe if you haven't already, give this a thumbs up or hit that love button. If you benefited from this program, do hit the notification bell so you get reminded or alerted every time that we go live with a new update. So again, you can apply for more money for your business. Thank you so much. Continue to be the boss with Amplify Impact and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.